This is Gunbird Special Edition on the PlayStation 2. On the disc is Gunbird and Gunbird 2. These games both started out as arcade games and then they got ported over to various consoles, including the PlayStation 2 and the Dreamcast, although it was just Gunbird 2 that got ported over to the Dreamcast and not the first Gunbird. So I think if you haven't guessed already, both games are 2D shoot 'em ups, and I think the least this goes for on eBay is about £5, so I was quite lucky to get this game for just £1.50. I basically got it from CEX. And well, you probably won't be able to notice because the camera's too blurry, but on the back here it doesn't actually tell you how much space the save file takes up, and the reason why that is because there is no save file. So that's kind of gutting because you can't save your high scores. And there's the disc and the manual. So yeah, let's take a look at Gunbird Special Edition on the PlayStation 2. Okay, so I thought I'd do things a bit differently this time and review the game while I'm actually playing it. I figured it would be more easier for me to show you stuff doing it that way. Usually the way I'd review games is to record the gameplay footage first, rip it onto my PC, edit the footage and then talk over it. But I thought I'd just do it this way for a change, see how it goes. You never know, I may start doing it this way from now on, it just depends how it turns out. So first off, what you'll notice is the music is echoey. I've got no idea why that is. I don't know why the developers have not fixed that. And if you start Gunbird or you start Gunbird 2, the music in those games is echoey as well. I've tried going into the options and changing it from stereo to mono or mono, however you're supposed to say it, and it doesn't make any difference. So let's press start anyway. So I'm going to do a proper review on Gunbird. I'm not really going to go into too much depth with Gunbird 2 because I've already reviewed that game on the Dreamcast. The games are pretty much identical, but there are a few small differences between the two. And when I played Gunbird 2, I did actually feel quite disappointed with it compared to the Dreamcast version, because I do think the PS2 version of Gunbird 2 is pretty damned inferior to the Dreamcast version, but I'll get into that later. But let's take a look at Gunbird first. So let's press start. So this is the options screen, and this is your difficulty. It goes from 1 to 7. So 1 is baby, then you've got child, very easy, easy, normal, hard, and very hard. On baby, or otherwise number 1, it's pretty damned easy. You'll probably complete the game on your first try. You'll probably have to use a couple of continues, but you'll probably beat the game no problem. There's a bit of a challenge there, but it's pretty damned easy to complete the game. However, though, when you make the difficulty go up, the game very quickly gets very difficult. Like on number 3, it's really hard, and on number 4, which is classed as easy, I personally find it pretty much impossible to beat the game. You have practice as well, so you can practice whatever stage you want. You can select the difficulty, your character, the amount of lives, the power of your weapon or weapons, how many bombs you've got, and you've got option. You can change the screen from normal to wide. Personally, I don't like wide because the screen just looks way too stretched out, and then you've got this this screen, which I think is called tape mode. So this is basically not for practice. This is for the regular game. You can change your lives, your life extend, change the audio from stereo to mono or mono. You can change which buttons do what on the controller. Stage settings, you can have random stage on, and that means that the first few stages will be in a random order. Or you can turn it off, go into set stage and choose your own stages, choose your own first 3 stages, I think. So let's put that back to on and exit. And you've got a sound test where you can just listen to music from the game and different sound effects. Okay, so I want to show you something in practice because it's quite interesting. Now if you press the start button, you can't do this with the regular game, by the way, it's only with practice, but you can turn the hit display on. And that will mean that all the bullets and the enemies and the power-ups still have boxes around them, and the boxes show where the collision detection is. Not really sure if having this option set to on will help you to get better at the game, but it's an interesting feature anyway. So let's exit out of this. And let's start the regular game. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different characters to choose from. Let's go with this one. Okay, so you notice that the 2 sides of the screen, which aren't taken up by the game itself, they've used artwork to fill in those unused bits of screen, if you know what I mean, which I think is pretty good. So, triangle on the controller, that gives you continuous fire. You just keep it held down and your character will continually fire. If you keep your finger on the square button, you'll hear a sound after a short while, and then when you let go, your character will do a charge shot. Some characters do short range charge shots, other characters do long range charge shots. X, that will do a bomb, which I'll show you in a minute. And you don't actually have a close range shot in Gunbird like you do in Gunbird 2. Sometimes when you kill enemies, they'll drop a power up, and a power up just basically powers your weapons up. Sometimes they'll also drop bomb pickups as well. And before each boss you get like this, I don't really think you call it a cutscene, but you get like pictures and text and stuff. So I'll show you a bomb. You just drop a bomb by pressing the X button like that, and it protects you from all of the bullets on the screen as well as doing a lot of damage to the enemy. And between each stage you'll get this, where you'll get like a picture of your character and there'll be some text and stuff. I think the music for this game is really great. The only problem is, like I said before, it's kind of echoey for some reason. Sound effects are pretty good. Graphics, they're nothing amazing, but they seem good enough. You can also turn the HUD on or off by pressing R1 like that. You don't have to use the D-pad for moving your character around. You can use the left analog stick if you want to, which is what I prefer using really, I think. complaint that I do have about this game is that it's not that much of a complaint really, but it's just that the stages before you get to the boss on each stage do seem quite short. Like you'd just be playing the stage for like maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and then suddenly you've got a boss, and then after the boss the stage ends. Some stages can be quite long if you include the boss, because sometimes like fighting the boss can last for quite a long time. But pretty much every stage doesn't last that long before you get to the boss. It would be nice if they did last longer, but oh well. So I've been forgetting to use my charge shot for some reason. Kind of hard doing well at the game as well while I'm talking and stuff, so I'm not usually as bad as this when I'm playing it. Not sure if there's much else for me to say about this game actually. I mean, playing through the game on the easiest difficulties, it would probably take about half an hour to beat. Oh, I actually have another complaint about the game which I completely forgot about, and that is there's no actual save file for the game, so you can't actually save your high score, which means there's less incentive to repeatedly play the game, because it's not like you know, because usually with games there's the incentive there to repeatedly play them to try and beat your high score, because your high score will get saved in the boards. But with this game, and Gunbird 2 as well actually, your high score doesn't get saved, so it's like there's less incentive to repeatedly play the game, unless you was to write your high score down on paper, but I don't know, I just don't think it's the same as actually having your high score saved in the high score boards. But I think there's still enough incentive to repeatedly play the game anyway, you know, to just try and beat the game on the more harder difficulties, or to just try and beat the game without using any continues. And the enemies are pretty cool, like this one. I think it's a really cool enemy. It's like a knight. So the enemies are quite varied and different and interesting. And so are the characters that you can choose from as well actually. But yeah, so that's basically Gunbird. Really great game in my opinion. So let's exit out of this. Oh, and by the way, on the earlier stages, if you use a continue, the game will just, the level won't start from the start again, you just continue from where you left off. But on the, I think it's the last two stages, if you use a continue, the stage will start from the start again. Oops, I don't want to retry. That's interesting, I never actually knew that, because I've never actually pressed retry before, but if you press retry, you can actually select your player. So let's exit the game actually, because I want to play Gunbird 2 now. So the menu is basically exactly the same as the menu on Gunbird. So yeah, let's just well actually let's go into options, put the lights to 4, exit out of that, put the difficulty to 1, and let's start the game. So where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we've actually got 6 characters to choose from in total. If you go into the question mark, and I think if you press down, yep, you can choose another character. So again, pressing the triangle button will give you continuous fire. Pressing the square button while keeping it held down will give you a charge shot. X, that's for your bomb, which I'm not going to do right now. And you actually have a new shot in this game over the first Gunbird, which is the close range attack or shot, which I just did there, and you do that by pressing the circle button. So yeah, I mean, I'm quite disappointed with Gunbird 2 actually, because it seems way inferior to the Dreamcast version. Oh, and by the way, as you can see, again you've got artwork on either side of the screen, which you don't actually have on the Dreamcast version. As for the Dreamcast version, it's just a lot better. The graphics are a lot more brighter, more crisper. The screen is a bit bigger. I won't go into all of the differences. I may make a separate video for that. But the main thing is that on the easiest difficulty on the Dreamcast version, the game is beatable, whereas on this version, on the easiest difficulty, the game is just way too difficult. I can't beat it at all. Maybe I'm just crap at the game, but it gets to the point, even though it's on the easiest difficulty, when you're playing through the game, it gets to the point where there's so many bullets on the screen. It's like there's no actual gaps for you to avoid them. Do you know what I mean? So it just seems impossible to avoid them. And yeah, and because on the later stages, when you use a continue, it will restart the stage. It just means that I can't beat the game at all. So as you can see with this character, when you use a bomb, it actually turns the bullets into little pickups, like little roses that you can pick up, and they will give you a better score. And once again, if you press the R1 button, that gets rid of the HUD. If you press it again, it turns it back on. Again, this game I think has got great music, and the graphics are an improvement over the first game. I won't really talk much more about the game because, you know, I've already done a proper review on this game, on the Dreamcast version of this game. So yeah, all in all, I think Gunbird Special Edition on the PS2, I think it's great. It's definitely worth the money. I only paid £1.50 for it, believe it or not, from a shop that sells second-hand games and second-hand DVDs and stuff. And yeah, I think Gunbird is a really great game. I really enjoyed playing it. Gunbird 2, bit of a disappointment. Main reason is because it's, you know, even on the easiest difficulty, the game just seems way too difficult. Just seems impossible to beat. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.